I've called my new tea time treasures simplicity. It's all about decluttering, setting up, styling, and cleaning around my home. There's so many things I've been learning about simplifying, so I thought about putting some things on paper in this little pack. Ease invites clarity and wisdom. Flowing into the simple lets your soul exhale. So this is really what I've been feeling lately. As I've been setting up, as I've been organizing, tidying up, even finding routines, simple routines for cleaning my spaces in this new home. So it's a quest, it's a wish of mine to find new ways to simplify and invite in more calm and ease into my everyday life. So there's 2 pages of these. These are little instructional cards. Here are the other cards that I've included words related to simplifying or related to tending to my home or cleaning or organizing, flowing into place. I named it that because flow is just one of my favorite words these days. Somehow this is part of simplifying for me. Flow is not pushing, it's not striving, it's just letting things be. And there's so much of that that I still want to process and that I still want to practice with. Something that helps me feel more ease and more calm. I pick out one of these words, limit this word. Then I'm going to pick a card, the first one, of how to use it. So it tells me I choose a word and play I spy around my home, asking myself, where do I feel or do this? The definition is limit my options to cut down on overwhelm and help simplify my decision-making process. So I'm going to say the living room. I've definitely limited my options there because right now the walls are blank. There is one little cupboard and one little side table because I don't know what else I want to put in there. I need to find a new couch, and I'm not putting anything until I find that couch because I think the couch is the important thing in the living room, and it's going to kind of give the style for the rest of the room. There's no lamp yet, there's a light bulb still, there's no decorations, and that's okay. It's like my place to just sit down and relax, and I feel okay about it because it will come together in its own good time at my pace when I'm ready for it, when I find the right piece of furniture. So sometimes it's just limiting those things in a space that helps me feel lighter. Okay, I'm going to pick another card. Say no. Say no in a tactful way by using a few key phrases that help me feel good and not guilty. And this is how I'm going to use that card. Write myself a list of things to do related to this word. What things can I say no to? So I'm going to write myself a list right now. What can I say no to help me simplify my life in some way? So I can think of so many examples of things I need to say no to. No to a long to-do list. No to too many options because I have a hard time making decisions. No to going to the flea market this weekend because I don't want to bring in anything else until I know what I really need and want. Okay, last one. I'm going to pick the word prioritize. Shorten my to-do list by noting my 3 top priorities of the day or the week. Finish those, then move on to the next 3. So that's an idea of how to prioritize. But now I'm going to pick this card, which tells me how to use the word prioritize. I ask myself a question related to this word. Okay, well, that's an easy one. How could I prioritize something that I love at the moment? Or what do I need to prioritize to pay more attention to my self-care and well-being? There's a lot of questions that I could ask myself. Why do I want to prioritize my family at this time? Why do I want to prioritize simplicity, for example? So I've decided to make it very simple for myself and divide this month up into 4 seasons. So season 1 is sorting and clearing out the old. Season 2 is organizing, setting things into place. Season 3, decorating and beautifying. This is also so important to me, and it's part of simplifying because just seeing my home beautiful, cozy, charming, comfortable, I feel like I can relax. I feel like I can just sit down and enjoy my cup of tea without feeling like I have to get up and fix this or move this thing or that thing. Season 4, tend to and clean. So I've created myself these little cards related to each season and a little bit more about it and something to ponder about each week. It's prioritizing one thing for the week. I love going into my garden first thing every morning and just admiring the beautiful flowers, the leaves, and I just get so excited to see new blossoms, new buds growing. But it also helps me realize that not everything grows at once, just like I can't do everything at once. Each flower has its time to bloom and be beautiful, and that way it's never an overwhelm. Just like I can have seasons for different things in my life or in my home, taking care of my home, that way it becomes more of a joy. I love seeing these all together in one place. I can even just stand them up like this on my desk or something, and there is lots of room to fill it up with the journaling prompts in the back, things to ponder about. You know how much I love to write because I feel that writing is really a part of simplifying for me. It's out of mind, it's out of my heart, it's down on paper, and somehow I feel that it's going to be taken care of when it's on paper. I'm going to feel lighter, I'm going to feel calm. So, as to give you an example of my little sorted and let it go season, which is what I started in the first week of June. Clear out what no longer serves my joy. And I pondered about what is one thing I can release today, physically or emotionally, a belonging, an obligation, a thought. I wrote myself a little sort out plan for each day of the week as part of my little morning journaling time. So, for a physical sorting out, I wrote, sort out the garden shed and throw out what I don't need or use or like. I included a little sort plan for the physical, practical aspect of my life, and then a little sort out my thoughts on another topic. Tuesday, sort out my decor boxes and categorize them into containers to simplify finding things I need. So that's been something I've been wanting to do for a while. And then again, sort out my thoughts about a certain thing. Wednesday, I wrote, sort out my crafting papers and materials so it can be used again, more welcoming and enticing for me to do a little when I feel the need or desire to do something relaxing and creative. My brain needs some playtime just for me at times. So I realized that that was kind of keeping me stuck from doing a bit more art and creativity. It's because things weren't really sorted out and I had too much. So I needed to get rid of some stuff. And then sort out my thoughts about finding balance for my health and body, pushing and strengthening it in gentle and nurturing ways. But how, when, and what? So something that I wanted to figure out, sort out this day. Thursday, sort out my plants. Which ones do I really want to keep and have a suitable place in this home? I love a touch of nature, but a touch is not a heavy pull or push or weariness to take care of them. So I wanted to find the balance here in my sorting out. Friday, sort out my concerns and worries about my health by making some doctor appointments. So that was the sorting out that I wanted to do that day. Sort out some maybes by going and taking a step of action. Saturday, I sorted out my closet and gently set aside the clothes I don't feel really good in. I put them aside in a bag to give away to someone who appreciates it more. Sunday, I did a sort out of my digitals, my photos, emails, apps. That's kind of a regular thing I want to do a bit more of, maybe a monthly thing. And I took time to sort out my own expectations. Is this kind or necessary right now? Is it joyful and at my pace? Does it feel good and true to me? So it really helped me to kind of put things in perspective. And I love the little challenge to sort things out in both physically or emotionally. So this week I'm on season 2, Organize It and Find It a Home. My little ponder about is what deserves a special, clearer, more convenient or practical space in my life or home right now. So I think I'm going to do the same as last time and list each day something that I want to organize or set into place to help simplify my process and this week. It's the gentler and simpler pace that helps me get through each task and still enjoying the process. I've made one for each different space of my home, so I've included some extras that I don't have, but that maybe some of you have. The little title is my go-to tips for simplifying the balcony, for simplifying the bathroom, in the kitchen, my office. So here's some more spaces of home, and again some more. I've listed 3 ways that you can use these cards. And in the back is where I write down my little tips and ideas for simplifying in that area, in that space. I know I can always come back to these when I feel like I'm getting a little overwhelmed in that space. So if you want to come on this little journey with me, I might go to each space of my home and list at least 3 ways that I could simplify or that I already simplify. Because since being in this new home, I realized that my cleaning process, my organization process has been so much lighter and I enjoy it. I enjoy that process where before I would dread it. So something has shifted and simplicity is definitely a part of it. So you could make them as a little book, even punch holes into them, or even glue them into your journal book. So it's however you want to use them. Just to show you a couple examples of the spaces that I've already done in my home, and I've listed my go-to tips for simplifying in these areas. So to start with the dining room, I wrote, I set up my coffee tea station here instead of in the kitchen. I keep in here the dishes not in use every day, utensils for specific uses. I took out the microwave and air fryer to make more space for a quiet eating area. So because I don't have all the right fitting pieces of furniture yet, I had to kind of move things around and try a few things. And I had these 2 in the dining room, but it definitely wasn't very conducive to peace and quiet. And it was also a hassle while I was cooking. I chose a designated place for placemats, napkins, and tablecloths. So that's a tiny little detail, but it did help to simplify remembering where I put them and they're not in my face. I can just tuck them away inside the bench. Keep 1 or 2 plants, not a jungle corner. So I still have a few more plants to give away. I love my plants and it's a beautiful touch of nature, but it's also an overload. It's a visual clutter. So I want to kind of simplify and also have less to handle and take care of. I make the space beautiful and simple, which invites me to come here and journal every morning. Almost my favorite place to be. So this has been my favorite place as of late because I've kind of simplified it, cleared up some of the clutter. And then for my bedroom, a few tips for simplifying have been I only keep in here what I really need. I have tiny side tables that only fit a lamp and my phone and a cream. What else do I even need in bed? My little coiffeuse is there because I have no other space for it, but I only keep what fits in the drawers. One drawer is for makeup and one is for hair things. And I know that I can contain all my things to those 2 little drawers, and I like that. I love my unstuffed drawer commode. So here's a bigger drawer set. And I have 1 drawer for sheets, 1 for pillowcases, 1 for quilt covers. And I limit my options to 2 for us, 2 for our bed, and 1 for guests. And visitors' bedding, like quilts and pillows, stays in the storage. No need to have it in here. It's not that I use it in my bedroom anyways. And I keep nothing under the beds so that I can easily clean and dust underneath. So some of these have been changes for me since we moved to this house and since I have this bedroom, because it's a tiny little cozy space. Not much more that I can put in the space, but it has really helped to simplify and to keep it clean and to upkeep it. So I love that about it. So those were just sharing two of my space examples, how I use these cards. So here are the weekly rhythms, my little mini book for this month. So I love having this little zine, and so many of you commented about the last time when I wrote something for each day of the week. So I've done the same here. I've titled each day with a little something related to simplifying my home. And then I wrote myself a little reflection question, something I can journal about or make lists of. So there's Move It Monday, Tidy It Tuesday, Wash It Wednesday, Think It Thursday, File It Friday, Sort It Saturday, and Still It Sunday. We all need that time, that day of the week, to stop and sometimes do nothing at all. That's also part of simplifying. So each time there's a question, what can I move or let go of to start the week lighter? What's a tidy up routine I enjoy and that works well for me now? What could use a gentle refresh or clean outside or inside? What's working well that I don't have to fix today? What can I file and put away today to bring more calm and clarity? What is my sort through process to help me simplify things? How can I slow down, turn down the noise, and give my mind a rest? So these are daily doses of simplicity in the everyday. As an example, Think It Thursday. This is what I wrote. What's working well that I don't have to fix today? My office, my bedroom, the bathroom, the laundry area. And if I'm real honest with myself about it, I notice that those few areas work well and feel good because they are less cluttered, less full, so there is less to tend to and upkeep. Today I'm thinking about how I can make the other areas and spaces work well for me in a sort of way that calms me and invites me to enjoy, relax, and be myself in, rather than feeling spent or overwhelmed in. Sort It Saturday. What is my sort through process to help me simplify things? So I wrote, take everything out of the box, container, drawer, or shelf, and then categorize things a bit, like I make piles or I make groups or I put things in containers while waiting. 3, I put back only what is necessary, only what I want to keep, only what I love and what is useful. Number 4, I leave out the rest. Number 5, I dispose of the rest as soon as possible, out of the house or in another box for somebody else, or I put it in my car. I realize I need to get it out of the house as soon as possible. Otherwise, I'll sort through it and like, oh, but maybe I should keep it this for this. And oh, but I really like this. Why did I let go of it? And so I'm like, once I make that decision, I need to get it out as quick as possible. So that's kind of like my sort through process, how I am doing it now. But I'm sure as I go through this month of simplifying, I might find some new ways. We can always use some help or improvement. This is the whole reason for this little month challenge for myself. Ending with Still It's Sunday. How can I slow down, turn down the noise, and give my mind a rest? My favorite ways to be still these days are I check on my garden flowers and awe at their beauty. I read a random page from a good book I'm into lately. I write something small in my journal. I go for a walk in nature. I sip tea and eat delicious snacks with my family. So those are some of the things that I enjoy on a still, quiet, calming Sunday. Less for more. I was craving less of a lot of things. And I noticed that so many things were getting too full. Too many thoughts in my mind, too many tasks on my to-do list, too much noise, too many emotions. So I created these cards, and when I just feel a moment of overload or overwhelm, I pick out one of these cards and it just helps me to reflect on less of something. I might pick one out randomly, or I might choose one intentionally. For a few examples, less mess, less judgment, less stuff, less pressure, less control, less doubt, less overthinking, less expectations, less shoulds, less distractions. So these have been my favorite cards of all in this Tea Time Treasure Pack for some reason, because I just pick one and I feel a little lighter. I feel that I'm simplifying my life just by reading it, just by reflecting on it, pondering, and it gives me a moment of quiet, of peace, of stillness. I don't have to say any words out loud. I just feel into this peace. Less mess to create space that feels light and welcoming. And I might think, oh, today I want less mess in my entrance, or less mess in a specific space, or at a specific time. I might give myself a little affirmation using this. On some days, each sip of tea I take, I reflect on one of these. Less fuss. Not everything needs fixing, frilling, or fine tuning. Less overloads to make room for more overflows of joy. Less distractions, choosing presence over endless scrolls and clicks. You choose one or you pick one randomly. There's not really any wrong way to use these cards. This is for reflection, this is for pondering, this is for journaling, this is for sharing with a friend. I really enjoy sharing some of these cards with friends. And then we compare notes together. We compare what we're doing today. And that way we get double use out of these cards. Here are my June joys, things that I've done this month that I'm still working towards. I'm continuing my book study. I'm adding fresh flowers to my home from my garden. I so enjoy doing that. List my simple go-to meals. That's something very helpful I found to do. Reorganize a shelf or drawer. I'm still working on that, but I've started. Plant some herbs. Make my 1, 2, 3 list of to-dos. Label my bins and baskets, something so helpful that I've been working on. Almost done. Change out the pillows and blankets to something a little fresher and cleaner and more summery. Choose one thing to stop doing. So yeah, I'm limiting some sweets. Categorize and file papers. So this is also part of organizing. I'm kind of learning to not only have a place to file them, but also regularly go through the files and throw things out when I don't need them. And here's the recipe for this month, Basque cheesecake. So it's like a cheesecake, but without the crust. So here we are. This is really an example of simplifying. Why have the crust when you can just have all the goodness from inside? But it looks delicious. So I'm trying this. Thank you, Martine, for this recipe once again. Last but not least, here's the teapot for this month. Simplicity, tea time treasures to create graceful ripples of care. Sip and savor the art of simple, a shortcut to more joy. So I'd love to hear from you how you enjoy this Tea Time Treasures, and there are many more of them. You can find the link below. Please share your ideas if you have specific ways that help you simplify your life, your home, or your spaces, or your mind.